Now let's move on to our journey. Now during the day, whatever I'm given to present, I have divided into three parts. First maybe a little more basic, but in our daily living, what's the visions which can make us more happy and harmonious? The second session I may be dealing with more in details about, as he said, what's in my realm, what's not, what's karmic bonds, what's atma and other things. The third is secrets of human life. How really the things are working, what's in my hand and not. I'll try to cover up some important aspects right from basic to advanced in these three. And as you see, the crowd is diverse, the people are diverse. So in each of the part, I'll try to cover some basics and try to go to some advanced. Sometimes I wonder that the jet plane right from ground, it has to go to 38,000 feet. And I don't know how much I have to adjust between these different heights, but I'll try to do the same. So holistic inner science and integral living, as he has rightly said, if I connect from there, asking myself, am I having a balanced, holistic living? Am I having a happy, harmonious, rich, meaningful inner living? But if I go in detail, what's bugging me? In everybody's life, if we see within, we may be having smooth or clear or happy areas, but there may be some areas, some relations, some things which maybe keep on bugging me, or I may not be able to resolve it. Do I have inner or mental baggages, as they say? Not the checking baggage I'm taking. I'm talking about the inner baggages. How can I resolve or manage my inner self in various situations like clashes or disadjustment, some untoward or sad event, some illnesses, etc., where I get affected? Can I manage myself for better? Am I living mechanically in a rut or with correct understanding and awareness? And if I say what can I do and how can I do, I have the questions: how can I achieve best of my life? And what's in my realm and not? And of course, can I have the lasting happiness, or can I have the path to liberation or moksha? What is right vision or samyak darshan? And does it come by meditation, yoga, or renunciation, or penance, or hard difficult ways, or it comes by some other thing? These are my questions if I really start my journey. So, a word about holistic living. It's overall balanced living, outer and inner, where all corners of my life, not only money, but health, spouse, children, my inner development, my spiritual development should be looked at. We are all aware, especially my younger friends, that almost a lot of hours go behind my job, behind my career, and when I come to home, I have hardly any time to talk with my wife and children are asleep. There is a proverb in Mumbai that when the father leaves, child is sleeping. When the father comes back, also the child is sleeping. So child has never seen his father for days together. And there was another story, somebody sent me the email, that a young person was very successful in a young age and accumulated so many dollars and position and everything. But one fine day he realized that my wife is gone. I had no time to look after. And he realized hard way that let's shed all these things which are not important, let's retain what is important. So he cleared all the clutters, which the aparigraha is said by our wisdom. So the idea is, I have to look to all corners of my life if I have to have the balanced living. So it's said to be happy, harmonious human living at all levels, whether it's individual, familial, social, professional, national, or eco-friendly. And if I'm really having my correct understanding, my very existence is having reached positive inner living, emanating happiness wherever I go, wherever I work, wherever I interact. It is all emanating happiness. As I already said, we look to body, mind, and soul health, and we look to IQ, EQ and SQ. I think most of you know Einstein had very high IQ but probably low EQ. That's why he had a lot of quarrels with his wife. He was not happy with his wife, that's what the book said. What is more important? Let's take few situations. Sometimes we all have experience that we are invited to marriage party, we are invited to birthday party, everything good is there to eat, but still I am unhappy with him, though I don't show it. Why? Because Mukesh bhai invited me, but then he was busy with all other friends and he never attended really me, or I felt that I am paid less importance than the others. So my pride came in between, that though he called, I'm not attended well. Similarly, I feel happy or unhappy with my husband or wife or my co-workers or colleagues or whatever, Why? Is Rajni Bhai not good? Is Manish not good? No, it's my opinion that Rajni Bhai always does is whatever he wants to do. Manish Bhai does in certain things. So they are enjoying, but I am suffering. I purchased a car or a flight ticket, and I was happy that, oh, I got a good deal. 2 days after, Manish Bhai comes, oh, I got a better deal from such and such dealer, and I am unhappy. Though I have spent $200,000 and the car is good, but he got $5,000 more discount than me. So my greed started working. Oh Lord, my Lord, I lost. So these things which are happening within. So what is important? Where are the problems? Are they outside or they are within? So reasoners say they are more within. Every moment, especially with a crowd like us or people like us, it's my inner anger, greed, pride, deceit, inner opinions and beliefs which is playing a role. So as he said, what lies before or behind us are not really important as compared to what lies within us. So my first message for this seminar is start looking within every moment. What's happening within? And if you become aware, don't try to change. Just become aware of what is happening within. And I think half of the purpose is solved. Now, these are the inputs going through the 5 senses which I already showed. It's a better picturized here. Now, how the inner self machinery really works. So it is inner self, I and I am, as I already said, with mind, reflective consciousness, intellect and ego, having the importance of beliefs, reasons and opinions. But more importantly, my inner weaknesses like anger, greed, pride and deceit, they keep on working every moment. If somebody gives me good respect, my pride is inflated and I'm happy. But if somebody doesn't call me with due respect, that's get deflected. So, and I'm looking through my inner spectacle. I'm going to little subtler details. હું થોડુંક સૂક્ષ્મમાં જાઉં છું. આ થોડી મોટી વાત કરી. પણ દરેક વ્યક્તિ કોઈને બહારથી હેરાન કરે છે કે પરેશાન કરે છે, ફાયદો કે નુકસાન કરાવે છે. આ છે ને હું તો આંખનો ડોક્ટર છું એટલે મને ખબર હોય. Lot many patients come to me. સાહેબ બરોબર દેખાતું નથી, હું તો કાં તો નંબર આપું કાં તો ચશ્મો સરખું કરી આપું. World becomes beautiful. So here I am looking through my inner karmic spectacles which works as my અંતસ્કરણ. મારું જે અંતસ્કરણ છે દ્રવ્ય કર્મના ચશ્મા કહેવાય છે, એમાંથી હું જોઉં છું which makes me to take correct or wrong decisions. So this is all the inner machinery and I with my. Now importantly, in any given situation we are trying to handle the situation. Do it. There's nothing wrong trying to handle the situation. But we experience that 9 out of 10 times we may not be able to change the situation. What is more important is to handle our inner self. We want to resolve ourselves or we want to have peace and harmony within. And it is said that 9 out of 10 times you can certainly handle your inner self or how you experience the situation. You may not have to choice of what you want to experience, but you certainly have the choice how to experience it if you are aware of your inner self functioning. And that's where the holistic science wants to work. So, of course, I have to go through some basics. Happiness. Now, if we all see what makes me happy and what makes me unhappy, try to find out someday what is making me happy or unhappy. Commonly, we try to become happy or unhappy by comparison and competition. My house is 3 rooms and 1 bed, whatever, bedroom or whatever. And Manish Bhai was junior to me. It's a bigger house. Well, I could not do anything. So I had to run to make the bigger one. Fine. So normal and natural living is the answer. But coming to the more key points, because I have to, Rajni Bhai always says me, you have a lot of things and you speed up a lot of things, but you don't keep in time. So I'll just focus on more key points. So where does the happiness really lies? Does it lie at the mind level? Does it lie at the level of ego? Comparison and competition addresses mind and ego. But what at the level of heart? When I'm trying to make someone happy, suppose I decide that I'll help this patient. Why to go through such a bigger thing? Suppose we have a grandson and we decided, okay, we'll throw a small party after 50 days. We have not invited anybody yet. We have just decided in our mind. Is it not our experience of everybody of us that from the moment we decide to help somebody, from the moment we decide to do something which is going to make others happy, makes us happy first? This is a secret. that whatever actions of my mind, body, speech which are going to make others happy will make me happy first. So for my own sake. So Gnanipur said that if you want to really become happy at the level of heart, try to open the happiness shop. Have you ever seen the happiness shop all over the world? How to open the happiness shop? From where to get the merchandise? Who will go give the loan? So my mind, body and speech which are with me, it is my inner inclination, inner attitude that from morning to evening, whosoever comes across, whomsoever I meet, I should try to give some happiness to somebody. It's not necessary that I shell out the dollars from my pocket. If I have, well and good. Otherwise, I can listen peacefully to somebody. I can give consolation to somebody. If somebody is in hospital, I decide, okay, I'm going that way. Have you any work? I can do it for you. Anyway, so Mahavir said, yoga upiyogo paropakarai. But the question here is, am I doing it for others? Very pertinent question. Every religion of the world says the same thing. But my intellect doesn't accept it. Why to do it for others? I have enough of things with me. So, really, am I obliging others? Answer should be clear to you. Or I am obliging myself. What's the answer? I am obliging myself. Even though I may not be aware, I may not be conscious. But while I am trying to oblige others, really I am being obliged myself first. Now the reverse scenario. Suppose I am here, I am on a vacation from my clinic, and somebody informs me that your staff is playing on indiscipline and in your absence they will not remain present in the clinic. So my mind starts revolving, okay, let me go back to India and I'll fire them. Fire, it's very much here in the USA. So you are conversant with the word. Now they are enjoying. What happens to me? Fire starts within before I really go and fire them. So whatever actions of my mind, body, speech which are going to hurt others will disturb me first. Is this a difficult truth? Very simple. There is a daughter-in-law and there is a mother-in-law. Now both decides, okay, I'll show her a lesson. And observe with him where the lesson is learned first. So, if this much is clear, in my self-interest, what should I resolve? Let my mind, body, speech not hurt any living being in the world because I don't want to get hurt myself. And let my mind, body, speech make one and all happy. Because I want to remain happy, it's for my own sake. With this simple truth, I started greeting you that I am sitting in you. Both by interactive dealings as well as by elemental pure self-vision. Because your happiness and my happiness is connected. Your unhappiness and my unhappiness is connected when I am dealing with you. And that's how you are not different. It's my own projection. It's my extended and expanded world. So world is me by interconnectedness and oneness. And if world is me, whom will I hurt? Will I hurt myself? So now we go to another point. Whatever is making me happy or unhappy, as I'm already saying from the first moment, is it outside? No, primarily within, which gives me pain or pleasure. My own attitudes, my own opinions or inner weakness is positive or negative, does give me happiness or unhappiness. A word about relative happiness and real happiness. What I mean by relative happiness is, when the circumstances are favorable, they are according to my desire, I feel happy. Husband and wife, as long as each one's mood is good, both are happy. But one's mood is bad, husband feels, let me leave the house and I'll come after 3 days when her mood gets correct. So it's dependent on the circumstances, live and non-live, that's fine. Suppose I am given all the circumstances as per my desire, whatever amount of money I want, good wife, good children, everything good. If I look within, have I everything? No, still I feel something is missing. Why? Because that's the very nature of relative things. And it has two things. Because of this I am happy, because of this I am unhappy, due to this I am happy, due to this I am unhappy. So not only dependency, but it is object related and objects are always changing. And so it keeps on changing. And as I said, even though I have given everything as per my desire, still my inner happiness doesn't come, because that's the very nature of relative happiness, that it doesn't quench your thirst. As against that, the real happiness is independent of circumstances, whether favorable or unfavorable. And that's why they went in trying to search. but it is independent of circumstances or objects, but it starts only after I know what's my real self or who am I, what's my permanent self. So that makes very clear that what should be my purpose of life. As we started with the questions, everybody can decide their purpose of life differently, but do decide. Because even GPRS asks, feed the data, feed the address, otherwise where the car will go. So where the car of our life is going without any destination or purpose is being fed in. You can change that, but you have to have it there. So purpose of my life, first purpose should be use mind, body and speech for others or obliging nature, as we say. Here the inner intent counts. It's very important. What is important, action or intent? 3 doctors are there, all are doing the surgery, all are getting remuneration, but intents may be different. One's intent is to help somebody, one's intent is to grab as much money as possible. And it works differently within as well as in the scheme of nature, right? So intent counts, main product and byproduct. What should be my main product? My main product should be whatever work I'm doing. I may be CEO of some company, I may be a clerk, I may be a manager, I may be a professional, or even I may be a housewife, maybe anything. But my intent should be to make somebody happy, to share, care, something, and to look after others' interests who are connected with me. If that is my main product, my byproduct, that is name, fame, money, everything will fall in effortlessly. But if I am after byproduct, after money and everything, the main product is not there. And Rajnibai tells me in any factory, byproduct comes free of cost. If you are a fool, if you are not having wisdom, you will go after byproduct and you will miss the main product. And the second purpose should be to know who am I. Scripture said it is samyak drishti or right vision, because in this changing world, including mind, body, speech, what is constant? What is permanent? I want to know that to get results and to have permanent happiness and liberation, or to know the ultimate truth. How can I achieve it? Next question. I want to have all the questions for myself. If it is there, how can I achieve it? So as I said, human life is a unique life experiment. So no sooner I say it is an experiment, there should be 2 parts, experiment and experimental. So what constitutes experiment over here? અહીંયા પ્રયોગ કયો છે ને પ્રયોગી કોણ છે? તો કે આ મન વચન ને કાયા અંદર જે બધું ચાલી રહ્યું છે તે અને આ બધા સંજોગો બહાર અને નેચરલ રેગ્યુલેટરી સિસ્ટમ એ આખો પ્રયોગનો ભાગ છે અને હું છું અને હું કરું છું, હું તરીકે જે જીવી રહ્યો છું એ પ્રયોગી છે. તો કે છે કે with this, if I have the correct understanding, મારે કોઈ પણ પ્રયોગ કરવો હોય, જો મારા પ્રોફેસર સારા હોય, મને ફંડાસ ક્લિયર કરી આપ્યા હોય તો એફર્ટલેસલી રિઝલ્ટ સારું આવશે. અને જો મારા ફંડાસ કે અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડિંગ કરેક્ટ ના હોય તો લેબોરેટરી ઉડી જાય, બ્લાસ્ટ થઈ જાય. સો ફર્સ્ટ ઇઝ કરેક્ટ અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડિંગ, ધેન પુરુષાર્થ ઓર એપ્લિકેશન પાર્ટ. અને જ્યારે એપ્લિકેશન અથવા પુરુષાર્થની વાત કરીએ તો અગેન ધ નેક્સ્ટ ક્વેશ્ચન કમ્સ, વોટ કેન આઈ ડુ ઇન્ડિપેન્ડન્ટલી એન્ડ વોટ કેન આઈ નોટ ડુ. સો ઇફ આઈ સી ગો થ્રુ ધ ડેઇલી લિવિંગ પાર્ટ, which are the main hurdles of my happy harmonious living? Clashes. I have inner and outer clashes. I may not get along well. I am not happy with my spouse, children, colleagues, co-workers. The world has become bad and nobody is good, and so I cannot get along with the people. Things are not going my way. I am not at peace with myself. There is injustice to me. This is very common. Father did injustice between 2 brothers, and mother-in-law did injustice between 2 daughter-in-laws and whatnot. And why me? So, if we see clashes, I hope nobody of us has this in any time in the life. Right? Yeah. Okay. So, but if I look within myself, I do have clashes I had it rather, clashes inside and outside. And what happens when the clashes? What's the cause and what's the effect? The most common cause is I am right. Yes. I am right. Right? He or she doesn't understand me. So this is the most common cause of clashes, right? And clashes lead to what? What happens when there is a clash, smaller or bigger? Luckily we don't have a bodily clashes nowadays, but these speech missiles do go away. And there is a delicious food on the table, but one missile goes, I don't know what is the taste of the food. So with the clashes I lose my inner harmony, I lose my inner positivity. There is a lot of negativity. And sometimes I say my mood is off, please leave me alone. It takes hours, sometimes days together to come back to normalcy. And In scriptural language, it leads to a lot of Artha Dhyan and Raudra Dhyan. And now you can understand, of course, it leads to intense karmic bonds. This is a simple language to understand what Vitragas wanted us to understand daily. So the first golden key is avoid clashes. Decide to avoid clashes. Now, no scripture really shows us the visions how to live in the daily living. Because in good times that was not required. That understanding was there. Today, it is the most required thing. One may not know the Tattva Jnana, one may not know the scriptural Shastra Jnana, one has to know how to live in the daily living if we really want to go through smoothly. And no sooner I decide to avoid the clashes, what is common sense? We all have 110. The next time you have to put the question, what's your level of common sense? 110 out of 100. 10 for reason. So common sense is one which is applicable everywhere theoretically as well as practically, which can resolve or pass through any situation without mind getting apart or without mind breaking apart, without heart breaking apart. Now how much successful are we? So, and another understanding which comes to my rescue, when I say I'm right, I should know that everybody may be right by his or her own viewpoint. I have all the right to persuade, to explain, put forward my views. But no sooner I become insistent or adamant about my views, the things clashes start. So I should resolve to resolve the situations amicably with equanimity. Here, they decide, okay, we resolve the things amicably. And what about inner clashes? My inner self asks me, give me the resolving answer. Why? મારે જ કાયમ સહન કરવાનું, મારે જ કાયમ છોડી દેવાનું, સમજેણે જ કરવાનું, બધું કેટલાય ક્વેશ્ચન પૂછે મને. So this holistic inner science visions will give me the understanding of natural laws, which will give me the resolving answers every moment. કે આ કેવી રીતે બની રહ્યું છે, મારી જાતને જો સમાધાન નહીં આપી શકું, અંદરથી જો ક્લેશ નહીં સમાવી શકું, no matter what I try, the outer clashes will not get aborted. એ તો સ્પ્રિંગ દબાઈ રાખીએ ને થોડી વાર રહે, પછી એક વાર બધું ડાળી મૂકે. So what is more important is to resolve inner self. So and Gnani Purush said કે આટલું જ જો આવડી જાય ને avoid clashes, so it can lead right up to the doorstep of liberation. એમણે તો ત્યાં સુધી કહ્યું કે તારે વચ્ચે કોઈ ગુરુની જરૂર નહીં અને કોઈની પણ જરૂર નહીં, આટલું શીખી ગયો તો મોક્ષના દરવાજા સુધી પહોંચી જઈશ. I am not happy with many things. I'm not happy with Rajni Bhai. I'm not happy with Manish Bhai, though I have to come here. I'm not happy with the Chicago people and whatnot. Why? Because I have the problems of adjusting with all different personalities. My way of doing is different. Their way of doing is different. How do I manage? So today we are not suffering because of the scarcity of resources. In my childhood, I have seen the days when there was scarcity of resources. Today we have more than required. But what we are suffering is difficulty to adjust with each other. Why? Because the personalities are different. So second master key is adjust everywhere. And how to adjust when all personalities are different. Right at my home, husband has a different personality, wife has different, children has different, in-laws have different. At workplace everybody is different. How do I adjust? And the one beautiful analogy is in a garden, everything is similar or different. And still you love the garden? Does a mango tell to a rose, why don't you have a fruit? Does a rose tell to a mango, why don't you have a beautiful flower? And do we ever go and complain to a rose, why do you have a thorn? Similarly, with this vision, if I look, right at my family, wherever I am going, it's a garden of human beings, all are different, but none without a fruit or a flower. So what shall I do? I should know what one knows and never complain what one doesn't know. So adjust everywhere with all different personalities, under all different situations. And if this vision starts working within me, Dharma Dhyan becomes effortless. Because Dharma Dhyan is state of inner equipoise, inner balance in diverse situations, liked by me or disliked by me. And of course, less of karmic bonds through the situation I am sailing. Home. For how many of us, home is a heaven on earth? Can raise the hands? How many of you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of, and for others, including myself, it's a testing laboratory. It's a testing place, right? So, Mahavir Swami had to go for miles away to find a testing place where he can get purified. I have right in my home, testing place. So we are bound mainly by our family members. That's why Gnani Purush said, win your own home, world need not be conquered. ઘર જીતવાનું છે, જગત જીતવાની જરૂર નથી. તો કે ઘર જીતવું એટલે શું? તો કે as the days pass, એકબીજા માટેનો પ્રેમ વધવો જોઈએ. આ તો 5 વર્ષ પછી તો રહેવાનું ભારે પડી જાય. કે હવે ચેન્જ મળે તો સારું કે છે. So a home with good mutual dealings is a place, even though it may have a less facility, looks a very vibrant place. Husband and wife. So enjoyable situation, right? Do I have disagreement and clashes? Khanki ma answer karta. Do I experience hearty friendship, love and oneness with my partner? So Rajul and Neminath હતા. Lord, it was said that Lord Neminath and Rajul were together for 9 months and still the minds were harmonious. And for all of us, if asked in secret, we are happy to change, if possible in the same life. And if not, certainly in the next life. So, what's the key? One should live as the best friends. Now the two I, they come together. Gaur Maharaj said, but the two I do remain separate. And as long as one eye is loving, sharing and caring or friendly, it is a win-win situation. When one eye tries to win over the other, the show starts. Luckily in US, everybody respects independence in friendship. But two eye harmoniously merge thata nathi. So we should use the word we and ours. આપણું એવો શબ્દ વાપરવો જોઈએ, મારું ને તારું એવું બોલવું જોઈએ નહીં. ક્યારેક ગમતમાં બોલીએ ને તોય ફારસ થઈ જાય. એટલે use the word we and ours and not as I and you or mine and yours. And as I already said, world is me only. એટલે he or she is me only because everything affects me. Ultimately, wife એક બાજુ મોડી ફેરવીને સૂઈ ગયા હોય તો husband ગમે એટલો વેમ મારે ને પણ અંદર અસર થયા વગર રહે નહીં, and vice versa. So everything affects me. That's why I should be careful. And what's the definition of love? Find out from the Oxford Dictionary. Love is a condition where there are no, love is a thing where there are no conditions and expectations. Do we have the same? And if I go in a subtler aspect, Sukshma Majam, so because of the karmic bonds, one has come together as spouse. So our awareness should tell us that I don't want to puzzle it more, rather I want to lessen it. Karmic bonds મારે ઓછા કરવા છે, વધારવા નથી. અને an important tool for most of my senior citizen body sitting over here, go back, see the life, and wherever you feel કે આ બરોબર નથી થયું, adopt the process of cleansing which we'll deal in the afternoon session. Clean everything. Before your body, you leave the body, you can clean everything and you can get rid of all the bondages of the karmic bonds. So, pratikraman karine ke chokku karine, andarthi chokku karine તમે મુક્ત થઈ શકો છો. Children, is it a tough test? For you in US, I think it is tougher than in India. So children, son or daughter or son-in-law, daughter-in-law, whatever it may be, doesn't listen to us. They want to live their way. They tell us, allow us to live my way, how to deal with the things. So responsibility of parents is a very, very great responsibility, even more than a president of a country. And here what comes into play is character of parents. How they are living themselves is very, very important. Because unless you are living proper way, there is no way you can really make your children the way you want to do. So it is a glass handle with care. Mind of children are like glass. Whatever reaction may come in your mind, but be careful. And they learn what they see and not what you say them to learn. They see how my parents are living, how everybody is living around, and dispose your duties as a gardener, caretaker, and not as the owner of the garden. Yes. So another very, very important thing, present generation doesn't love to listen, do this and don't do this. But if you can explain them scientifically and show them the various phases, what is happening with what, and leave them to their decision, they will decide and do the best. But unless I know the science, how am I going to explain it scientifically to them? So this is very, very important. In interpersonal dealings, as we have already seen, I just try to observe, having this holistic science vision, what is happening. And when I see the society in this part of the world and society in our part of the world, what is the difference? Mahavir said, Parasparano graho jivana. We live by interconnectedness. કબૂતરને ચણ નાખવા બી જાય છેવટે. કેમ? તો કે એની અંદર પણ જીવ છે, આત્મા છે, નાખવાથી મારું ઉર્ધ્વગમન થાય છે, I remain full. અહીંયાની સોસાયટી છે, હું ભલો ને મારું કામ ભલું. હું તો હુંતી ને તેમાં હું તો હુંતી ના ફાલતું તારે રસ્તે મારે છે. That's what is making them lonely. So the very basic fundamentals of mutual living are missing here. And as long as we don't understand that, we cannot be happy in interactive dealing worlds. And as I said, the love, we all expect to be loved by others. But the answer, correct thing is, if I start loving the people unconditionally without expectation, no matter whether the reciprocation comes or not, my heart is always full. That's the key with what the Gnani Purush lives. They are never lonely because they have the heart full of love for every living being. So Vasudev Kutumbakam, the whole world is my family. Now we come to workplace where the Manish Bhai is working, he's teaching management and fundas of management. So we all experience that there is a lot of leg pulling, backbiting and stress at workplace and outer environment and inner environment. And there are a lot of courses going on stress management. But I think there is no course handling the ego management. And the very important aspect of human resource management is ego management. If you can handle the ego of everything positively, you are winning the battle. And if I apply this vision that it's a garden, then a good manager is one who knows what fruits or flowers one is bearing. That means what are the positive abilities of different people and can put together rather than complaining what one doesn't know. So it's the attitude, positive and friendly attitude. Another important thing, once my engineer friend told, Shailesh, I'm earning a lot, but I'm not having satisfaction because I'm working with machines. And you are working with live machines, human machines. So this is an opportunity to oblige, help, smile, share and care and to see God in all. So if I have this attitude, at the end of 8 hours or 10 hours, I should not be tired, I should be re-energized. It should be like a place better than a temple or a church for me, if my attitudes are like that. Self-interest, everything affects first me. So start looking within, as I said. World is our own echo, our own projection, so beware while throwing the echoes. Now dishonesty is the best foolishness. Does it sound true to you or it is false? Because no sooner I try to fool somebody, if I look within, inner stress starts, inner conflict starts, my blood pressure may go up, my respiration may become fast, and even a lie detector machine can pick up my changes, right? Yes. Though he is not a live thing. So one who deceives is being deceived first, and mistakes are our own boss. Here you don't have a speed cameras, but once I was in Australia, and there are so many hidden speed cameras, and people also keep another machine to find out where the camera is, and they speed up. But always under tension when the camera will pick me up and when the ticket will come. So it's not the camera or a police who is the boss, it's my mistake of overspeeding. This is a gross analogy I'm giving, but all my mistake. So with this, if I see my self-interest, should I look at the virtues and praise the people, or should I try to find faults of the people? When I praise somebody, I'm happy, I'm going up. When I criticize and find faults with somebody with bad intention, I'm going down myself. So to love or to hate, revenge or forgive, you can choose for yourself what is in your self-interest, and whether anger, greed, pride, deceit, they are your friends or enemies. And of course self. One who wins the self wins the world. Improve others? No, you can only improve yourself. Husband throughout the life tries to improve wife. Wife throughout the life tries to improve the husband. I don't know what is the outcome because I'm not experienced in that. But should I manage others or should the self? All the management colleges are trying to teach to manage others. Unless I can manage myself in any given scenario, it is futile to expect to manage others. So one who can manage self can manage everything, and that is why these visionaries, Mahavir tried to win over the self and he didn't try to win over the universe or the world, but as a result, the world was won by him. Beliefs and psychological effects. I'm not going into detail, but a life is a bundle of beliefs and psychological effects. If you see a one or two instance, daughter-in-law comes at you, newly wedded daughter-in-law comes, and a mother-in-law has a set of beliefs, and a daughter-in-law has a different set of beliefs. So if one is not aware of the beliefs, either it can have a positive or a negative thing. Opinions. There are one or two slides on it. Thank you for the same. I am in my own bottle of opinions. Have anybody realized that opinions are binding us? So is my behavior influenced or driven by opinions in all interactive dealings? Have you ever looked in that why I am so happy with Rajni Bhai and why I am so unhappy with the Manish Bhai, though both are similar? So opinion affect me first, positive or good, negative or bad, and the Gnanis are free of all opinions. This is just to make you aware that sometimes when you are sitting quiet, just try to see within, and I tried to see once what opinions I am holding for everybody, and believe me, for 3 days I could not finish my list, and I realized that even when I am traveling and somebody sitting by my side, he is going to go away, I am going to go my way, still I have opinion that he is not behaving properly, he is eating too much, he is doing that and doing whatnot. For everything and anything I am having opinion. It doesn't affect he or she. Beware. Now the last one or two slides. Does various situations disturb me? And how should I remain? So in a set of self and circumstances, do circumstances make me happy or unhappy? Everybody will say yes. The Gnanis, enlightened ones, say no. It's vision of looking at the circumstances which really make you happy or unhappy. We'll say one or two situations. Nobody likes difficulties or challenges coming in the life. But if we retrospectively go back and see, the difficulties or challenges in life make me a more mature person. It gives me opportunity to bring out my inner talents. It gives me opportunity to bring out my inner energies to overcome that. Unless there are difficulties, I cannot realize my potentials. I cannot become mature or a better person. Criticism or adverse remarks. At the end, some of you may say, okay, you didn't really do well. If I'm not having the positive vision, I'll be upset. And I'll scold you like anything in my own mind. But if I take it positively, it makes my egoism normal, doesn't allow it to inflate more. Otherwise, seminar by seminar, it will be so much inflated that it will wreck me. And it gives me opportunity of introspection where I can improve. Once the Jnani Purush had fractured leg femur at the age of 76. Now suppose any of us has a fracture or something, what is our state of situation for 2.5 to 3 months? Oh, every friend comes and every time we repeat the same record. Oh, I slipped in the bathroom, fracture occurred, it will take 2.5 months, it will take 3 months. It's like a monkey wound getting more and more wide with every description. What must have been his answer? His answer was, fracture had occurred at that second. From the next moment, it has started uniting or joining. Is it a fact or a wrong thing? Medically also it is a fact. Why we can't see? Because we do not have the holistic vision. Once the holistic vision opens out, we can see. And with this little change, our whole inner and outer reactions or effects change. So Lord Mahavir just taught his disciples one thing: don't look at what is lost, look at what is left with you. So even Einstein said, in middle of every difficulty lies the opportunity. I am thankful to all who said me no. Because of them, I did it myself. અને આપણને કોઈ ના પાડે તો જવા દે દે સાલો આટલી બધી મદદ કરી તો કાંઈ ના પાડી. So I am leaving some things. Now the last part, forgiveness, as they have given me. Now I'm hearing a lot of things, forgive your own self and whatnot. Now my question is, how do I scientifically forgive myself? મેં આપને ગાળો દીધી, મેં કશું ખોટું કરી નાખ્યું, પછી હું મારી જાતને ફર્ગિવ કેવી રીતે કરું? કારણ કે it starts bugging me. Even though I try to defend કે મનીષભાઈ આવું કરેલું એટલે મારે ગાળો દેવી પડે. But it does bug me, it does bother me. So how can I forgive myself for wrongdoings? So there is a scientific answer. A mental cleansing process, I have to undergo confession, apology and resolution. Even though I can do within my heart, જે ભૂલ થઈ હોય એને હું જાહેર કરું છું કે આ રીતે મારી આ ભૂલ થઈ છે, એની માફી માંગુ છું અને ફરી ન કરું એવું નક્કી કરું છું. We'll deal it with detail in the second session, but that makes me free of my own mistakes. That's the correct scientific process of forgiving myself. Without that, I cannot get out of the botheration and burden of my own mistakes. And how to forgive others? Can I? બધા ઉપદેશ આપે છે, માફ કરી દો, માફ કરી દો, ક્ષમા મોક્ષનો દરવાજો છે, પણ કેટલાને માફ કરી શકે જિંદગીમાં? પેલો મને ખોટું કહી ગયો, પેલો મને આમ કહી ગયો, માફ કેવી રીતે કરવું મારે? રસ્તો બતાડો. There should be a scientific easy way. So if I understand the natural laws governing my life and living, I can easily get out of it. And what are those natural laws? Whatever was let comes back. No one can independently hitch or help me. આપણે લગ્નને બધા પ્રસંગો હોય છે ને, સામાજિક પ્રસંગો, એમાં ડાયરી રાખી છે કે ભાઈ આ ઘર જોડે આટલો વ્યવહાર છે, આ ઘર જોડે સાગમટે બોલાવવાનો છે અને આમંત્રણ આપવાનું નથી, એટલે સામેથી ના આવે ત્યારે આપણને કે અફસોસ થતો નથી. ડાયરી જોઈ લઈએ કોની જોડે કેટલો વ્યવહાર છે, દીકરાને પણ આપીએ કે ભાઈ આવો વ્યવહાર કરજે તને ફાવે તો. એક્ઝેક્ટલી ઇટ ઇઝ ધ સેમ થિંગ. ખાલી ડાયરી ભૂલી ગયા છે નેચરમાં કે કોની જોડે કેવો વ્યવહાર કરેલો, એટલે પાછો આવે છે ત્યારે પઝલ થાય છે. પણ લીધેલું છે તે પાછો, એનું નામ સંસાર વ્યવહાર. આટલું સમજાઈ જાય તો પછી કોઈને ફર્ગીવ કરવું પડે થઈ જાય. Because it is my own accounts of my own atoms and molecules. The postman delivers 5 posts at our post box. એમાં એક ટ્રાફિક પોલીસની ટિકિટ હોય, એક ડિવિડન્ડ હોય, એક કોઈના મેરેજનું ઇન્વિટેશન હોય, એક કોઈના ડેથની કાગળ હોય. Do we blame the postman for too pleasurable and too painful? No, he is only the delivery man. Sender is somebody else. Throughout my life, whosoever is helping me or harassing me are no more than postmen in the scheme of nature. So if I understand this, some basic natural laws, this becomes effortless achievement. Otherwise not. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Ram. It's open for questions. So here I have dealt with just the Vyavahar part, interactive dealing part, before going into the depth of the science, and we are open to questions, all types of questions.
So I have this microphone if anybody wants to ask a question.
આ બધું આપણે સમજીએ છીએ ખરા, અને બધું રિયલ ફેક્ટ છે, પણ આચરણમાં નથી મુકાતું.
I'll answer, હું આનો ટૂંકમાં જવાબ અત્યારે આપું છું, વિગતવાર જવાબ પછી આપીશ પાછો. આ બધાની પઝલ છે કે સમજું છું પણ થતું નથી, અને એનો જવાબ મેં કહ્યું કે હું શું સ્વતંત્રપણે કરી શકું છું અને શું સ્વતંત્રપણે નથી કરી શકતો. એ જ્યારે મને સમજાય લાઈફના પાર્ટ કે લાઈફ કેવી રીતે ચાલે છે, વિજ્ઞાન તારે એનો જવાબ એક્ઝેક્ટ મળશે. પરંતુ ટૂંકમાં કહું તો જીવનના બે ભાગ છે. સમજણ જે મારી છે એ મારે સમજણના લેવલ પર મારે ફેરવવાનું છે ભાવ, અને આજે પ્રકૃતિ જે મારી છે, જે પ્રકૃતિમાં ઇફેક્ટો આવે છે એ ફળ છે પહેલાની બિલીફો જે હું લઈને આવ્યો છું. આજે હું સમજું વસ્તુ તો સમજથી મને ધીમે ધીમે ફેરવી શકશે. પહેલો ચેન્જ એટ ધ ઇનર અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડિંગ લેવલ ઉપર આવશે. ખ્યાલ આવે તમને? એટલે એ આવશું આપણે પાછળની સ્લાઇડ્સમાં છે, ધીસ ઇઝ વેરી ડિટેલ. પરંતુ વિજ્ઞાન એનું નામ કે સમજું છું પણ થઈ શકતું નથી એવું આવે નહીં, પણ થઈ ક્યાં શકે છે ને કેવી રીતે શકે છે એ સમજવાનું છે. એટલે we'll deal with this in detail as we go through the next sessions. But a good question.
Any other?
I just want to ask that what you said is really good thing here. What I want to know, like, how someone can achieve a balanced life here, like in a one line. You know, I know what you said is good, but it's too many things to do. But in this one line, what would you say to achieve a balanced life?
A balanced life.
Yeah.
Okay. If I have to say it in one sentence, you felt as if many things are to be done. I say in one simple line, just try to have the correct understanding and everything will fall. Correct understanding. This we try to describe through various facets. But fundamental is usually very short. Applications are different. Fundamental cannot be different. So when you understand the fundamental, that's why I said everything affects me first. So with that awareness, when I start looking within, of course choices are very clear that if I make others happy, I'll be happy first. If I help others, I'll be helped first. If I hurt others, I'll be hurt first. So with that basic little understanding, if I develop my vision, it becomes very simple. And the balanced living, as you say, as I know more and more that does money only make me happy, somebody else is going to deal with aspects. Money is required, but it is a means and it is not the goal, or it's not the end story. So with proper understanding, so the simple shortest answer is correct understanding. As I say, correct understanding will lead to everything falling in its place. Incorrect understanding will lead to all wrong stations. If I, by mistakenly, if my direction is wrong, all stations will be wrong. If my direction is right, effortlessly everything will be right. So correct understanding is the answer. From where to get the correct understanding? One who has understood it correctly. How to find out? Look at the experiences one is having. If I want to learn the ophthalmic surgery, I'll try to find out who is the best surgeon, whose results are best. I'll just go by side and watch. Without doing anything, I'll acquire the skills. So that's how, if we can find a Jnani Purus or somebody, and with that, or read it or something, then we can have the correct vision, and with that vision, it will automatically start applying everywhere, and we'll get a balanced living, especially outward and inner, interactive world as well as balance. Does that answer your question?
Hi, I have a question regarding unconditional love.
Yeah.
What is unconditional love and how can we experiences give in a daily routine life? Because we live in the body, so we are abide with all the bodily gunas like tamo, rajo, and sato. So what is the easy way to experience in a daily family life, like husband, wife, and kids?
Very good question. So as I say, my prakriti, as you say, bodily gunas means prakriti, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. In other words, my inner self, mind, body, reflective consciousness, or intellect does have expectations, does have conditions. If my husband behaved like this or did this, that's fine. But at the same time, I have another part of my understanding. The inner self doesn't function by its own alone. It's influenced or guided by understanding, correct or wrong. So when my understanding says me, okay, in dealings it happened, but for my own self, let's get out of it and even if he doesn't love me, for my own sake, let me love him by his looking at his pure self, because that makes me happy. He or she is me only. So it is up to him whether he wants to become happy or unhappy. Let him decide his way, but for my own self, if I love, irrespective of whether whatever they do to me, my heart will always be full. My heart will always be free. So with that awareness, I exercise the understanding over my personality, over my mind, body, inner machinery, and that brings me back to where I should have been. So that is known as a discretionary vision, or the Vivek Buddhi kehવાય છે. The understanding no je part છે, the understanding no part helps me, even though my prakriti is getting affected, but my understanding will bring me back where I should have been. Does that answer your question?
Yes, to look at the pure soul of the other person.
That if you can, that's best. But even if you cannot look at the pure self, even for your own self, even for your own harmony, even for your own happiness, you can have this unconditional love. If I have to make it a little more simpler, don't tie as a reactionary behavior to what other is doing. Don't make your behavior reactionary to what one is doing. Make it non-reactionary, what you should have been doing. Does that make it a little more clear?
Yes.
Because it's not very easy to seek yourself in everybody every time. If you can, it's well and good. But still it is easy to find out my own way. કારણ કે રિએક્શન આપું એમાં પહેલું મને બળતરા થાય. શું થાય? એટલે જ્ઞાની, હા યસ, જ્ઞાનીઓ શું કરે છે? જ્ઞાની કહે છે અમે રિએક્શનરી બિહેવિયરમાં પડતા નથી, મારે શું કરવું જોઈએ એ રીતે અમે રહીએ છીએ in any given scenario. That's how I say it, to take revenge or give reaction or to forgive, what is in my interest? To, not to attach with reactionary behavior, but to attach with what I should have been doing. And believe me, તમે 2-3-4 વાર આવું કરશો ને એનો પ્રભાવ એટલો બધો પડશે ને એ લોકો કંઈ તમને હર્ટ કરતો છે ને એની હિંમત જ નથી. તમારા કેરેક્ટરનો પ્રભાવ પડશે. આ તો બધું this is to be experienced because now your conscious is about the routine living things.
The situation our ત્યારે we cannot control.
એ જવાબ હું આપીશ. મેં એમને કહ્યું ને કે as we go along, what are the ways of doing that things? We'll answer that question. Okay, what is not controllable and what is controllable. That's why I put the question, what is in my realm and what is not. And I'll definitely answer this question in much detail, how holistic science addresses this question. But if I have to just say, the whole world, all preachers, teachers, monks, saints, they ask us to modify our behavior, or we also try to control or change the behavior. But can you change the fruits, or have you got to change the seeds? Can you change the effect, or you need to change the cause? What is scientific? Can you change the fruit? You have to change the seed. Can you change the effect? You change the cause. So here, what is the effect and what is the cause? My behavior, my personality, Prakriti is the effect. It's the fruit of my past beliefs. What I can change as a seed or cause is my inner bhav, my inner decision, or my inner projection, which can be easily changed based on my present understanding. If it becomes correct, my inside will change, and when it results into a fruit, my behavior will change when it becomes a fruit. So this is a very scientific process. Science may હોય નહીં કાંઈ નથી થતું, but science has to be understood how it can be done and what can be done. That's why I have relevantly put all the questions over here, and shortly I answered, but in detail we'll answer that question again as we proceed through the sessions.
Any other questions?
You can write it down also, even in lunchtime, whatever comes to your mind, you can write it down and pass it on to me. If the things come in my hand before my other sessions, I'll try to include in as the sessions go on. And છતાં કંઈ રહી જાય તો અમે તો અહીંયા અવેલેબલ છે, કંઈ વાંધો નહીં. Middle of night also we are available if you are ready. મારા માટે, for my self interest. હું અહીંયા આવે તો તમારા માટે આવ્યો, મારા માટે. તમને શું લાગે છે? પણ હું મારા માટે આવ્યો છું, સ્વાર્થી છું. And this is an honest answer. I'm not telling you to make you happy. This is honest answer. It is my self-interest which has brought me here all the way long back from Baroda, losing my 2 months practice. So if there are no more questions, we move to other session.
Okay. Thank you, Shailesh Mehta, for the wonderful presentation. I think one thing that especially caught my mind was all the interesting things you had about family and friends, and because I'm perfect, I hope my family is watching, so they can get better at dealing with me and make my life better. But
we'll ask her.